So I ordered a make it yourself Christmas wreath from LadyoftheBlooms on Etsy, and it's arrived today. So without further ado, I decided I'd put it together because you don't want to leave a box lying around in my house because there are 6 Maine Coon cats in here. So I'm going to try and do it, hopefully without too much cat interference. But obviously I can't promise. I ordered the 12-inch wreath, so it's come with this 12-inch wreath blank. A bag of foliage, which is varied, different leaves and different types of fir and cypress and that kind of thing. So there's lots of different variety there in terms of colours and sizes and shapes of foliage, so that'll give it some beautiful texture. It also came with a bag of moss, which needs to be divided up and attached to this. It also came with, cat's in the way, oh, there's one of my oranges gone flying. Came with the oranges, whole oranges, orange slices, pine cones, one of which has been wired to show you how to do it, cinnamon sticks. I've already got some of these from previous year, so if I think it'll need more, I can add some extra bits and bobs. But yeah, there's a beautiful selection there of attachments for the wreath. I've got a cat sniffing the foliage. Move back, dude. And then it's also come with a Hessian bow, which I've just been fiddling with because I want the bow to be that kind of a shape. If I think it's going to need it in a little while, I will add maybe just a glue dot there to keep it in that position. And then there is a roll of wire for attaching the moss to the wreath, and then this is and also the foliage, and then these are just normal floral stems for wrapping around your pine cone and your pine cones and your oranges and your cinnamon sticks and such like. So she has got pictures on Etsy of how to wire like the cinnamon stick and the pine cones and such like. And if all else fails, you can also just have a look on YouTube at making a Christmas wreath, and it'll come up with lots of videos. So the first thing we need to do is to get this moss and divide it up into 5 separate portions, one for each one of the sections on the wreath blank. The only thing that I've provided is a pair of wire cutters. Everything else was in the box already. So I'm going to sort the moss out into balls and then I'll be back. So that's my moss put into 5 similar sized piles. Excuse me please, getting in the way. So the next thing we need to do is to take the reel of wire, find the end, there it is, and get your nose out, mister. Introducing Sir Diesel of Baratheon. And isn't he just absolutely beautiful? So yeah, get the rings and get the reel of wire, and we need to attach it to this wreath blank. So basically just get as long as it's nice and secure, all you need to do is get yourself a little end, use one of the upright struts and wrap it round and round until it's nice and secure. So Now the wire, we're going to use this wire to attach these balls of moss. So what I'm going to do is actually just get myself a bit of clean kitchen towel. I'm going to move the moss balls back so I can just bring one at a time to the wreath blank. Move back, mister. Move back, please. Thank you. So there's the blank. Here's the wreath blank with the wire firmly attached. That's not coming off. Then what you want to do is, for each one of these sections, you need to get, do you mind? Do you mind terribly? Get one of your moss piles and spread it evenly across that section. So get your tail out the way, come on. Sorry mate, you're gonna have to go on the floor, you're just completely interrupting everything. There you go. So yeah, that's it, spread kind of evenly, and then what you need to do is use the wire to wrap it around. Oh, that's all fallen off. To wrap it around and secure those piles of moss into place. Now it says moss ball, but obviously it's not actually a ball, it's all loose, as you can see, and fall into pieces. But as long as you don't have to put every last scrap onto the wreath blank. As long as you get the most of it, that's good enough. I have to say it smells really rather nice. So continue wrapping your, re-adding bits in as they drop off, but wrapping your wire around and securing the moss in place. So when you get to the end, obviously you need a new pile. Oops, move it around, spread that kind of evenly across the area. That was actually a deceivingly large pile, not very well spread out, so I'll add that to some of the other piles, and then continue with the wire wrapping. Elfric, stop eating the fern, please. I don't know what I was thinking I could just do this in peace with all these cats in the house. It's not happening, is it? It's just not happening. So that's the second one. And basically continue doing that until the whole wreath is covered in moss, like so. And then once you've done that, you need to tidy up a little bit before I do anything else. But what I am going to very quickly do, it's quite damp anyway, but I'm just going to give it a little spritz of water, if I can find the water bottle. Which will serve two purposes. It will keep the moss nice and damp, and it'll also get rid of the cat who is currently trying to encroach onto the work. Oh, it hasn't actually worked. He's not leaving. He's squinting. Oh no, he's gone. That's it. So he didn't like the water spray, as I suspected. So that's that bit done, and then can just literally put that to one side for the time being and then get to work on the foliage. So I'll have a bit of a tidy up and then I'll be back. Okay, so foliage. It's been soaking in water for a little while since it arrived, and as you can see there is an absolutely beautiful selection here. So then what you need to do is grab one largish piece. So you need to sort it into kind of sizes. That's a nice big piece, which you can use. You could use that either way because it's got two different colours on it, but it's really quite a lovely piece of foliage. And then there are some just the kind of evergreen type things, and there are some nice leafy bits. Reuben, please don't stick your head in the bowl of water, get down. And then these lovely bits, which are a really nice dark green colour. So yeah, you need to sort it and get some biggish pieces and smallish pieces together, maybe 2 or 3. You can. This is the part where you get creative. You can do anything you want, different colours like so. That's a nice bunch of 3. One of these with one of them, and that's a nice bunch of 3. I'm just going with bunches of 3 because it's easier. That goes that way. Obviously we needed something biggish behind it, so we'll go with that one. Oh, in fact, let's go that one because that's even better. And then we want something long and pointy as well. That's a lovely bunch of 3. And I mean, literally, you can do anything you want at this point. Well, that's a nice one, isn't it? I think we want that one kind of at the frontish. Sort it into different size piles or different, and put 4 in that one. 2, that one's a bit doolally. 2, 3, 4. We'll do that one like that. So once you've sorted out how you want all of your sprigs, as it were, that one can go in that pile there because it's quite small, and that one can go in that pile. But yeah, it's a lovely lovely selection of different textures and sizes of leaves, foliage, not just leaves, which are, you know, really going to give the wreath something, a little nice bit of oomph. Oh, I like that one. That was a good one. Nice and big. Put that with there. And some of this darker green as well. So I've got all my bunches there. They just all need wiring up. So once I have finished with basically that's it, I'm going to sort my bunches out, get them all wired up, ready to go, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'll be back to attach them to the actual wreath. So I've sped this bit up. So with the wire that's still attached from attaching the moss, you then need to pick up your sprigs and wire them onto the base, trying to cover the moss base up as you go. If you are right-handed like I am, it's easiest to point your sprigs to the left, and then you can just keep winding the wire off to the right. When you get to the end of the process where you're coming up against the first one that you added, basically all you need to do is lift up the leaves from the first sprigs that you added and tuck the wire underneath and then just go around the whole wreath and spread everything out and make sure that it's how you want it to look. You can add extra little bits of foliage in if you want to. I used all the foliage on this, and that's what my foliage wreath looked like at the end of the process. The next thing to do is to wire up all your little bits and bobs. So just a quick mention on that. On the apples, they're still quite soft even though they're dry, so I use the thin wire, and what you need to do is poke the wire through the flesh of the apple, but then bend it up so that you've got like a U shape in the wire, and make sure you pinch the two bits of wire together outside the flesh of the apple and the skin of the apple, because they can rip really quite easily. So you want to pinch it together, and then making sure that bit doesn't pull in any way, and then just twist the wire to have that bit ready, and then just cut off however much. You don't need a massive amount, just cut off a piece of wire to enable you to attach it to the wreath, so you don't need a long bit. Oranges, the middle is hard, the rind is hard, but the flesh, the wire will go through quite easily. Same thing applies. It doesn't rip quite as easily as the apple, but nonetheless it's a good practice. Just make your U shape, twist the wire, and then cut off a length of wire which will enable you to attach it to the wreath. Now you need to do that for all your bits and pieces, so I've sped that bit up as well. Basically wire up all your apples, your oranges, your cinnamon sticks and your pine cones, and then decide how you want to put them onto the wreath. This part is all about how you personally want it to look. Every single wreath kit that's sent out will end up looking different. I decided, having a play around there, that I wanted the bow to sit up at the top. I thought about spreading things out evenly, but then like, no, I'm not really that bothered about that, to be honest. I think I prefer things in clumps. What I didn't do was use everything that was in the kit. You don't have to use everything, not at all. So I poke the wire through the foliage and the moss, and then attach it on the back. What I always do is I try and slip it under another piece of wire, and then poke the sharp ends, trim it obviously to what size is best, and then poke the sharp ends into the moss so that you don't prick your fingers when you're moving it about. Then it's just a case of deciding how you want to add the rest of the bits and bobs. And as I say, this bit is where the creativity comes in. This is how you make it your own, and you just do exactly the same thing all the way around, adding as much or as little, in fact, as you want to until it's done to your satisfaction. The cinnamon sticks, I wired 2 or 3 together. There is, you can poke the wire through the actual middle of the stick if you want to, and then just, using the thin wire, it ensures that you can't really see where the stuff's been wired on. So once you've added your pine cones, your oranges, your apples, your cinnamon sticks, and you've got it to where you want to be, the final touch is just to add the bow wherever you want that to be. And I kind of like things that are a bit uneven. I like a random kind of placement of items, so which is why my wreath is all a bit clumpy, and there's nothing's kind of uniform on it. I find that more pleasing to the eye, but as I say, it is completely a personal choice, and that's when your creativity gets to shine. When it came to attaching the bow, I decided to add a piece of raffia to the middle of the bow, just to hide the wire that was securing it. And I chose the red because there wasn't any red on the thing, and made a little bow out of that as well, just to finish it off, and then pushed everything about, put it how I wanted it, and that is basically my wreath complete. So the only thing left to do is to clear up the total carnage in my kitchen. Something a little bit different for me. It's not something I would normally share, but thank you for watching, and if you have enjoyed it, please subscribe to my channel. Okay, bye for now.